Good morning. So today we're going to talk about our triangles. So we're going to move a little bit away from coordinate and talk more about just triangles living in free space. So specifically, we're going to talk about the triangle angle sum theorem. And so the angle sum theorem means I'm going to be adding up each of the angles, and hopefully you remember this from middle school, they're going to equal 180 degrees. So I know that anytime I have an angle A plus an angle B plus angle C on a triangle, they will always, always, always equal 180 degrees. For example, if I look at this picture, I've labeled this A, B, and C, and I just randomly picked which ones. It didn't matter which one was A, it didn't matter which one was B, which one was C, because the addition is a commutative property. So you can do it out of order. It doesn't matter if I say 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2, I'm still getting 5. So when I look at this picture, I know right off the bat that A plus B plus C is going to equal 180 degrees. Always on a triangle. This will always be true. So what do I do now? Well, I just take the value of A, angle A, and it's 30, and I plug it in here. And then I take the value of B and plug it in, and C and plug it in. So instead of writing angle A plus angle B plus angle C, now I'm writing 30 plus X plus 74 equals still 180. So how do I get this 104? Well, I combine like terms. So I'm going to underline the numbers that I see here. So when I say 30 plus 74, I'm going to get 104. So I'm still not quite there. How do I figure out this angle? Well, I'm almost there. So now all I have to do is subtract 104 from both sides. And when I subtract 180 minus 104, I get 76. So this question mark, which I labeled X, you can keep it as question mark. You can label it X. This should be 76 degrees. Now, how do I go back and check? Well, when I take this number and I plug it in for B, or instead I plug it in for X, I should say when 30 plus 76 plus 74 should give me 180. So take a second and check in your calculator. It does, in fact, give me 180. So on this next example, I want you to try it. Pause your video. See if you can solve it. Hopefully what you found out is that, again, I can label this in any way I want to. A could be here. It could have been where I put B. It could have been where I put C. It doesn't matter. But what I do know always and always is that angle A plus angle B plus angle C will always equal 180 degrees. So in my situation, A was X, or this question mark. Whoops. And I knew B was 135, and I knew C was 24. So I said X plus 135 plus 24 equals 180. And then what I did was I combined like terms. I said, well, what's 135 plus 24? It gave me 159. This told me, okay, well, now the last step I need to do to find this angle measure is subtract 159 from 180, and I should get 21. So if you got 21 degrees, awesome job. You're rocking triangles already. If not, keep up the good work. We're almost there. So I'm going to go back and check and say, okay, well, this should be 21 degrees. So if I add up 21 plus 135 plus 24, I should get 180. If I did not, I would say, I made a mistake here. Where did I make a mistake? Typically, it's probably in your algebra. So let's look at the next example. Again, now I've kind of covered mine up a little bit because I wrote the answer in already. But if you look at this example, nothing has changed. This is still, oops, my angles are sliding away. This situation is still going to be angle A plus angle B plus angle C equal 180. Nothing has changed. All that's changed is that instead of angle B being one number, just being simply numeric, it is actually an expression. So what does that change? Absolutely nothing. So when I go to plug in for angle A, I'm still going to put 41. And when I plug in for angle B, instead of writing 94, I'm going to write this whole expression, 94 plus X. And then C is still 155. So notice, I'm getting ahead of myself. Notice that the question says solve for X. So I'm going to do that first. And then it says solve for them. It says then find the missing angle measure. And so the angle measure simply means the degree in which I've got. So what I have to do first is add all these up, set them equal to 180 because it's a triangle, and then just take that x value and plug it back in. So when I do that, you should notice something slightly peculiar. When I say 41 plus 94 plus 55, all of these are my numbers, I get 190. So right off the bat, I should be thinking, well, 190 is bigger than 180. I'm actually going to get a negative 10 here. But is that possible? The only way to find out is if I plug this back in. So in order, this is to answer question number 2. Can I find, that looks like a Z, I'm just going to erase that. Can I find the missing angle measure? Well, yeah, all I'm going to do is say, well, angle B is 94 plus this x, but I know x is negative 10. Well, what's 94 plus a negative 10? 84. Because this number is positive, I am A-okay. If this was a negative 84, I would have made a mistake. I would have said, nope, that's not possible. So let's double check our answer. Well, if this is going to be 84, what's 41 plus 84 plus 55? Well, when I type that into my calculator, guess what I get? 180. Now, I want you to pause the video and try the next one on your own. Do not get tricked by that little box hanging out in the corner. That is something very important. Make sure you pay attention to that. So hopefully what you notice here is that, again, I can label this A, B, C, and solve for x, and I can also find the missing angle measure. So again, solving for x, and then I'm going to take that x and plug it in to find the missing angle. Well, in this situation, A is my missing angle. So I know I'm going to solve for x first and then plug it back in. So the same thing still applies here. Oh, you're going to see your answer first. The same thing still applies here. Angle A plus angle B equals 180. I now know that A is 6x, B is 90, and C is 60. If you forgot this 90, you will not be able to solve this problem. I have to be able to look at a box and say, oh yeah, that box in the corner means 90 degrees. This is a right triangle. When I do that, now it's simple algebra. Well, I know 90 and 60 are like terms, so I'm going to add them together. They're on the same side of the equal sign. So this leaves me with this 6x plus 150. Well, now I need to get x by itself. So I'm going to subtract 150 from both sides. And I didn't write this step. When I subtract 150 from both sides, I get 180 minus 150, which gives me 30. Now I've got 6x equals 30. Well, how do I get x by itself? Oh yeah, I'm going to divide by 6. So divide by 6. That gives me, x equals 5. Well, is that the answer? No. Well, yes and no. Yes, I've done the first part, but now I need to take that number and plug it in. So when I go back here, instead of writing x, I'm going to write 5 because I know that x equals 5. So angle A is equal to 6 times 5, or 30 degrees. So on this next problem, it's a little bit challenging. What I've done is I've changed it a little bit for you. Can you solve for x first based on what we've done, and then try and solve for v after that? Pause the video and see what you can find. All right, so I know this problem is a little bit tricky. What I need to do is I need to notice that triangle ABC is, first of all, a triangle. So I can say angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals 180 because it is a triangle. I can then go on and say, well, now you're going to see all your answers, so let me slide this over. I can then go on and say, well, angle A is 50, angle B is 78, and angle C is x. I can solve for x right here. Then when I do that, I say, well, what's 50 plus 78? 128 plus x equals 180. Subtract 128 from both sides, and I get 52 degrees. So this 52 goes right here. So if this is 52, how do I solve for v? Well, hopefully what you notice is that if I covered up the rest of this picture, so let me see if I can get my screen up. If I cover up this picture, I should notice that x and v are a linear pair. Remember that thing way back from module 1, linear pair. So I can say x plus v will equal 180. Then I can say, well, 52 plus v is equal to 180, and then my answer to v is 128. But wait a minute, I saw that before. I have just proven the exterior angle theorem. 128 was over here when I added 50 plus 78. So if I say 50 plus 78, it will always equal this angle on the outside. So go ahead, and I've got your next video. Sorry, I'm running out of time. Click on my next video.